friends, welcome back to Texel. We've come back again this year to spend another long weekend along these beautiful waters and with the chickens and wildlife. We came over yesterday on the ferry from Den Helder. It was nice, as usual, a bit crowded because it's a holiday weekend. But if you want to know more about how that works and how you get here from Amsterdam and other places, we'll link to our video from last year below, and you can see all about the ferry and that works.
And this trip is a little bittersweet. We had specifically picked this village this year because it is extremely dog friendly. And Laney had such an amazing time in Texel last year. You can see that in the video that Tori just mentioned. It's a little tough, but I can say we can move a little bit more freely without her buggy. So please, let's go for a nice morning stroll. All right, let's go.
Let's go.
The Texel Dunes National Park stretches out along the entire western coast of the island. From Koog, you'll find access to many walking and cycling trails, as well as beautiful sand beaches. Many of the areas are protected and have limited access, so always make sure to stay on the paths and trails. While you can't camp in the wild areas, there are several extensive campgrounds where you can place an RV, trailer, or tent. Make sure to keep an eye out for the wildlife that call the park home. Or maybe you'll find some nice hand-knitted socks you can purchase. You never know what you'll find. As we mentioned before, on Friday afternoon, we took the Texel ferry over from Den Helder. The trip takes about 20 minutes once you're on board. On the main deck, above where you park your car, there's seating and a cafe where you can purchase snacks and drinks. Once we were on the island, we drove to our hotel in the village of Koog. We'll share more about our hotel a bit later in the video.
Prost.
Nice red. For dinner, we took a stroll through the main streets of the village and decided to sit down at Burgers, Beers, and Blues. Overall, the food was pretty good, although honestly, the desserts were the best part. After our lovely Saturday morning walk through the national park, we had plans to meet up with one of my colleagues and his partner. Since they live on the island part-time, they had some great recommendations for us.
We're walking up to Strand Pavillion 21 on the beach to meet one of Danny's colleagues for lunch, so I'm excited to check it out and see how this little beach restaurant is. Hopefully it's not too crowded. Alright, so we had lunch at the Strand Pavillion 21. It was really, really good. We didn't film much because we were with some friends there, but lamb cooking was delicious. I think Danny liked her pulled pork. A little bit of a wait because it's busy and it's a holiday weekend, so there's quite a few people there, but yeah, the views here are beautiful. You're right on the water, so recommend the Strand Pavillion.
After lunch, we drove over to the village of Den Burg to visit Prof Lokaal de Zwaan.
We have gotten the recommendation of a way to find beer, which is always important, and as many different kinds from Texel as possible. So we are here at Café de Zwaan, and it has all the different kinds of beer from Texel. So interesting fact, we were actually here last year for a pop-up Texel tasting, and it was one where Laney was a little bit overserved. So you might remember that from last year's video, but let's get ready to test some beer, shall we?
De Zwaan has a selection of beers from various breweries on the island, including Texelaar, De Boei, OSB, TX, and Texels. The TX Caribbean Imperial Stout, which is aged in Caribbean rum barrels, was especially delicious. De Zwaan is a great location to spend some time and unwind. You can order snacks like bitterballen from the restaurant next door, and they have a small selection of games you can play while enjoying the craft brews.
Is that the face of somebody winning? Hey, good morning. Welcome to day 2 on the island. We've been up for a little bit. We had some breakfast. Danny went out for a bit of a run walk this morning, a little bit of training, and so I thought I would give you a little bit of a look around our hotel room here at the Hotel Tesselhof.
Hotel Tesselhof is located in the center of De Koog. It's a fairly large hotel with a variety of different accommodations, many of which are dog-friendly. The hotel has an attached restaurant and a private car park. There's also a children's play area. The beach is about a 10-minute walk from the hotel. Let's have a look at our room for the weekend.
Okay, so we are actually in room 1, at the Hotel Tesselhof. This is a ground floor room. We originally got this room because we were supposed to bring Laney with us, and so they have a few different classes of rooms. Some allow dogs, some do not. This is one of the ones that allows dogs, and it would have been great to have a dog in here, but unfortunately Laney's not with us. So anyway, ground floor room. You walk in, you have some hooks on the left, this little table for your suitcases. There's a big closet here, some extra pillows, hangers, and storage. On the other side we have some shelves and a safe at the bottom. Now this safe does look big enough to fit a laptop if you need to put one in there. Okay, moving into the room, there's a small set of tables and chairs, a luggage rack, and a small fridge with a kettle and some like tea making, coffee making type stuff on top of it. That's a nice little fridge, pretty roomy, so if you want to store your milk, water, champagne, whatnot, there's plenty of room in there. We have, the room has heat but no air conditioning. So it's been a bit warm in here. We've had the sliding door open quite a bit. There's this kind of bench style seating. It's a bit strange, but it's been fine. Mostly just put stuff on it, not really sit on it. It's a split bed, so theoretically you could push these apart if you didn't want to sit next to somebody. They're very, very soft beds, we found out, which I love. Danny doesn't love quite as much, but I think they're quite nice. Some extra pillows. A little reading light above each, and a little bit of storage below. So yeah, pretty nice. The floor is not carpeted, which is nice for all the sand and stuff. There's a full-length mirror next to the bathroom. All right, let's check out this bathroom. So when you walk in, the first thing you notice is there's a sauna in here, or a sauna, as they say. Now, we didn't book the sauna, so there is a little sign telling us that if we want to book it, we can book it for €10 a day. I don't know, we might do it later. We'll see. Toilets, you got a stand-up shower here. This is a pretty nice shower, nice rain head. And then your sink, all pretty standard. The towels are kind of not great. They're a bit scratchy and thin, but they do the job, not luxury. And then outside, we have a small, I guess you call this patio, with a couple of chairs that we need to bring in every evening if they don't want us to leave them out. I guess they're worried somebody might steal them. And you can see across there's a parking lot for the hotel, which is nice because parking is a bit tight here in Koog. Get this mosquito really quick. Ew. Oh yeah, and so also these walls are like It's like a textured wallpaper on them, but then also they painted over it this kind of like sand dune type design, which is kind of nice. It's a bit different. Yeah, but in general, it's a very nice, comfortable room. We've enjoyed it. We got one more night here before we head back. Yeah, that's the room.
Breakfast is included with your stay at the attached restaurant. They have a pretty standard continental breakfast fare, including bacon, eggs, pancakes, coffee, tea, and juices, breads, fruit, yogurt, and sliced meats and cheeses.
So I just finished my second run walk attempt in this training cycle as I try to get myself finally back from this hip injury, and it just feels so nice to be out on this trail and really feeling the sweat. I absolutely love walking, and we walked 8K yesterday, but running just does something different for me. And I think what's been toughest about this holiday is we had planned it because Laney had so much fun last year and we had so much fun bringing her here. And we're actually in a village, Koog is very, very much focused on dogs, and like every single person has a dog. And it's so hard to be here and not have Laney with us because, again, the whole reason why we picked this was to bring her. So happy to be here and to remember the memories of her from her trip last year, but it's still hard that it's only been like 5 weeks. But it's really nice to see all the other puppies around, and it makes me feel like she's here with us. So now it's ready to start day 2 as we do some more exploring. So let's go. But first, I need some water and maybe a shower.
One of the villages my colleague recommended we visit is called Oosterend. Its picturesque streets make it a contender for one of the most beautiful villages on Texel. It's a small area with a few shops and restaurants surrounding the church in the center of the village. On a Sunday morning, it's very quiet, which makes for a lovely time to walk the streets and appreciate the beauty of the old facades. We found a lovely little cafe where we could sit outside and enjoy a drink with the beautiful weather.
It's tasty.
For lunch, we visited the Vorstel tent. This Italian restaurant is located in an almost 400-year-old farm building. Weather permitting, you can dine outdoors in their beautiful garden. The food was outstanding, possibly some of the best pizza you can find on the island. Ecomare is part aquarium, part museum, part rescue facility. Admission is $15.50 for adults and $10.50 for children. They currently have a special exhibit about Doggerland, a now submerged area of land beneath the North Sea that connected Britain to continental Europe. The exhibit had various items and replica of items discovered from this area. Part of the museum focused on the impact of people on the environment. This display is set up to mimic the food vending machines you find at places like Fabo. However, in this case, the compartments held examples of objects found in the stomachs of seagulls. In the aquarium portion of the facility, they have several tanks with fish and sea life local to the island. You can sometimes see them do a presentation while they feed the fish. However, this is only done in Dutch.
For the English-speaking visitors, also welcome here at Ecomare. This presentation will be in Dutch, takes about 15 minutes. Feel free to ask any questions afterwards. A lot of the information which I will provide, you can also find on the computer screens in front of the aquarium. De enige twee haaisoorten zijn in de Noordzee, hier in Nederland? Nee, heel goed van jullie. Dus we hebben er wel 11 haaisoorten.
Our favorite part of the visit is, of course, seeing the seals, or zeehonden, as they are called in Dutch.
That was like a smile right at the camera. It's like so dramatic. End of the runway. La 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 la.
Texel has a large population of seals. Ecomare is a sanctuary for seals that are injured and sick. They take care of the animals, helping them get better and re-releasing them back into the wild whenever possible. Ecomare also has a bird rescue and rehabilitation facility. Daily at 11 and 3:30, a caretaker will come out to feed the seals and give a short presentation. This is also only in Dutch. However, it is still a lot of fun to watch them feed the animals. Honestly, we could sit and watch them for hours. For dinner, we decided to try another of the local De Koog restaurants. The Pickup is a 50s diner-inspired location with some very interesting decor inside. The food was just okay. Ice cream for dessert is always a good idea. The beach at De Koog is western facing, so we knew it would be a great spot to watch the sun go down. So with some champagne and fancy plastic Texel glasses from Jumbo, we settled into a spot on the sand and were rewarded with a breathtaking sunset over the North Sea. An amazing way to end the day. We woke up Monday morning to horrendous weather. It had turned cold and quite windy. It was our last day and we were heading home later in the afternoon. But first, we had plans to visit the Texel Lighthouse, and so we made our way to the north point of the island. For just under €6, you can enter and climb the 118 stairs to the top of the lighthouse. Because it's not a large space and they need to manage the number of people who visit, you must book a time slot for entry online in advance. Along the way up, there are a few different spots where you can learn more about the lighthouse. The outside of the lighthouse was damaged by gunfire in World War II. When the war was over, they built another wall around the outside of the structure. At one point in the climb, you can walk between the two walls and see some of the damage to the original facade. When you reach the top, which for the public is the level just below the lantern, you can step outside for expansive views of the island and the North Sea. Inside, you can see the lighthouse keeper's office space as well. It feels like a bit of a time capsule peering through the windows. Well, that ends our amazing holiday weekend on Texel. After a short ferry ride back to the mainland, we stopped in Den Helder for lunch before heading home.
If you liked this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next adventure.
Bye.